Zachary Taylor, or better known as Zack, is the first Black Ranger of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and we are not talking about the color of his skin, but the color of his costume. Personally, this is my favorite Ranger of all time, so for me it is an honor to introduce you to his story. Zack was the second in command in the Mighty Morphin after Jason the Red Ranger, all this, until Tommy Oliver arrived as the White Ranger, which Zordon put as leader, and Jason became the second in command. Zack's animal is the Mastodon, and his weapon is a very powerful axe that becomes a type of energy cannon, which is the beginning of the combination of all the Rangers' weapons to form the Power Blaster. In the comics, Zack has also been the Pink Ranger, the Green Ranger, and the Black Omega Ranger. Speaking of his personal life, Zack was a young man with some problems at home, but was still quiet and joking. Although he was very hesitant to have friends at first, he met Jason and the other Rangers at Angel Grove and gradually developed more. He is a young man who likes holidays like Halloween, although he is afraid of spiders and snakes. Zack likes to dance a lot, and what he did was to combine dancing with martial arts and invented a fighting style called hip-hop Kido, which he also teaches to others. He spends most of his time practicing martial arts with Jason and Tommy, as well as teaching dance to other students. When the war between Rita and Zordon started again after Rita escaped from her confinement, Zordon chose 5 young men to be the Power Rangers, and one of those was Zack, who at first was not sure if he could be a Ranger because he was an insecure young man at the beginning of his life due to the problems he had at home. Then he decided to commit to being a Ranger and accepted the mission to save the planet. With this he becomes the Black Ranger of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with the Mastodon Power Coin, which controls the Mastodon Dinozord. In the comics, during a mission, Zack controls the Megazord and they defeat Rita's monster while Jason helps from the ground. At the end of the battle, everyone celebrates Jason's performance, but not Zack's, and therefore he feels a bit of jealousy within himself. Rita takes advantage of this jealousy and chooses him to be the first Green Ranger, since at this point Tommy had not yet appeared. When Rita makes the offer to Zack, he was tempted, but he rejected Rita and tried to steal the Green Ranger's power coin, but failed. Then Zack confessed everything to Zordon, and this story stayed between them and no other Ranger knew about it. Because of this whole event, when Tommy joined the team as the Green Ranger, Zack questioned Tommy's loyalty many times and if Rita could still control him. This is why, at first, they have several confrontations, but then they begin to trust each other little by little. Later, when Lord Zed arrives and destroys the Zords, Zordon gave the Rangers the new Thunderzords and Zack had control of the Lion Thunderzord. Zack's last mission with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was to find the Light Sword, which is used to transfer powers from one Ranger to another when their powers come from one of the 5 power coins. The 6th coin has no connection to this sword. This mission was because Zack, Jason and Trini would travel to Switzerland and had to transfer their powers to other young people. Zack managed to transfer his powers to Adam, who would become the new Black Ranger and would be a very important and beloved character in the saga. Despite Zack having passed his powers to Adam, Zack has appeared as a Black Ranger in several seasons where fights have been given along with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, as was the famous legendary battle, or the battle in which Jason summons his team to defeat Golder Maximus. Before we talk about their last appearance, we must first talk a little more about their journey as Omega Ranger. In the TV show we could see the transfer of power, and we all already know the excuse we were given for these actors not to appear anymore. In real life, it has already been known that it was all because of contract problems with the franchise owners, as the actors were paid too little and they wanted the money they actually deserved. This opened a window to create a story about these 3 Rangers who had to transfer their power, and as a curious fact, the actors were not actually in that episode. The producers used old scenes and other voices to portray these Rangers. In the comics they used this opportunity to create a new story with these Rangers, and it has been something that has worked excellently. The Omega Rangers have been so famous that Hasbro has had to sell action figures of these Rangers, and the fans love this team. In the beginning of the story, Jason was the one chosen by the Blue Emissary, but Zack and Trini found out about this and also decided to join the team. After a while, the Blue Ranger joined, and during all this time the team members have changed little by little. This Omega Rangers team had existed for many years before, but the Morphin Masters had to hide this power. This is why Zack is considered to be very special, as he could be chosen to have this mysterious power that carries with it a great responsibility. The Omega Rangers are in charge of the security of the universe, so the enemies they face are much more powerful and dangerous. In the TV series, the last we got to see of Zack was his appearance in the special episode, and best of all, he was one of the main characters. In this story, Zack was working in politics, but due to Trini's unfortunate passing, he had to take care of the Yellow Ranger's daughter. Zack took it upon himself to train Min, and apparently the training was effective as she became the new Yellow Ranger. In this special we could see that Zack has matured a lot since, although he is still a cheerful person, he is also very responsible, and this he showed by committing himself to the care of Trini's daughter. In this special episode to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the franchise, we could see that Zack still uses his dancing as a fighting style and gave us a demonstration that despite the age he is, he can still move very well. At the end of this episode, we could see that Zack made the final shot to destroy Rita using his power axe, and with this we could confirm that this is one of the most powerful weapons that exists. I think Zack is a very special Ranger, as since 1993 he was able to establish one of the best personalities in the entire history of the franchise by combining humor, commitment, and responsibility. This is a flexible character that can adapt to any situation, and he has proven that in the TV series, but also in the comics. There is a version of Zack in Lord Draken's dimension, and there too we can see Zack can adapt to any situation. If you like Zack, like this video, and subscribe to this channel to be the next Black Ranger of the Power Rangers.